Howdy-ho, Andrew here. Welcome to the Onion Buns and welcome to Let's Talk Oilers. So we got Oilers versus the Toronto Maple Leafs, Game 57, February 3rd, 2026. So the pre-show. So as I always say, there are two teams I personally demand we always beat. Vancouver Canucks and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I expect and accept nothing short of absolute dominance over those two teams by the Oilers. And that's when those teams were actually good. Canucks and the Leafs are not good this season. So it's even more important our Oilers come out and win in pure dominance form. Anything less is simply not acceptable. So regarding tonight's game, the stupidity continues. Lazar, who has been our most dependable and reliable fourth-line player and our most trustworthy defensive zone center, once again finds himself out of the lineup and in the press box. Why? Who the hell knows? You'd have to ask Knobloch, and he's never answers why certain players find themselves in the press box despite being exactly what they're supposed to be, while his favorites do nothing at all but never find themselves sitting out. Makes absolutely no sense to me. But that's really becoming the status quo from Knobloch and Bowman this season. So Lazar is out. Majapani draws back in. So Frederick is expected to center the fourth line. Maybe when that doesn't work, Connor Ingram can come and take over the fourth line center duties for Knobloch. I mean, Knobloch likes Ingram, so yeah, maybe. Who knows? Yes, Ingram gets the start in net. So what do I expect tonight? Well, both Toronto and Oilers are allergic to team defense mentality. So I do expect a high-scoring, non-contact, shinny game. I'd be shocked if this game doesn't have a lot of breakaways and odd man rushes. And look at me, I'm not shocked. But you never know until the game is played. So, interactive question today. How many times does Bob Stauffer complain that Evan Bouchard's not on the Olympic team? Anyone? Bueller? I think he brings it up 6 times or more. Anyways, come on boys. I wouldn't complain if we win 8 or 10 to nothing. I think I may have set the over-under way too low. While writing the pre-show, I had 880 Chet on in the background. Minutes after I wrote the interactive question that I just read you, Bob Stauffer came on, and in 3 minutes, he racked up 3 whines about Bouchard not being on Team Canada and how he is the best defenseman in the NHL and better than Cale Makar. Yeah, I'm not joking, people. I had to shut Alexa off for 10 minutes just so I didn't hear the insane nonsense being spewed. Too funny. I still say either Stauffer is secretly Bouchard's agent, or those two have some homoerotic love affair going on. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Thank you, Jerry Seinfeld, for that. Period 1. So, game is on in Edmonton, but we get the Toronto announce team. Why can't we get Jack and Louie for the Oiler home games? Seriously. I mean, if we play in Toronto, we get the Toronto announce team. Toronto comes to Edmonton, we get the Toronto announce team. Come on. So Knobloch has moved Szymanski to the wing again. That means we have wingers in the center position for the third and fourth lines tonight. Szymanski on wing, and Lazar is in the press box. Seriously, somebody come in and make it make sense to me. First body check from either team happens at 15:02 mark of the first period. I'm not joking. Leafs penalty at 9 minutes. Tripping. Nothing happens. Roughing coincidentals at 3:36. Majapani snow plows the Leaf goalie who takes offense, and Ekman Larsson punches him 2 or 3 times for it. So it's 4-on-4. They both got a roughing penalty. End of the first. Shots on goal are 8-9 for the Oilers. Score is 0-0. So no scoring yet, but you can definitely see this game opening up in the second and third periods. Both teams look nervous in their own zones. Like they're nervous to make a mistake defensively, but lack the defensive ability to play strong defense. Majapani is definitely putting on a show as the Leafs, one of the teams rumored to be interested in him. He's been a little pest in the first period. Ironically, if he played like this season, he wouldn't be on the trade block. But so far this is the Majapani we are hoping for this season. Makes me wonder why he has not done this before now. I don't have stats in front of me, but I think Darnell threw 5 or 6 heavy body checks. Kapanen also threw a nice hit. Beyond that, however, it's been mostly hands-off style of play, which is another reason why I think this 0-0 score not holding in periods 2 and 3. We shall see. Period 2. Leafs break away at 19. Wallman stripped a puck on the Leafs blue line, but Ingram stands his ground. It's already starting to open up 1 minute into the second. Nurse with a nice sneaky shot from the blue line that almost handcuffs the Leafs goalie. Fight at 14:43, Nurse and Carlo. Nurse takes offense to a cheap hit on McDavid. Nurse hunts him down. No winner, but it was a spirited tilt. Both get 5 for fighting. Leafs 2-on-1, ring it off the crossbar. Leafs goal at 12:48. Okay, this goal was a comedy of errors, so bear with me as I go through this. Wallman makes a bad change that leads to a scoring chance, an odd man rush. The puck goes to the blue line and is shot towards the net. Stastny sticks out his skate, he doesn't block. He just sort of, he kind of soccer balls his skate at the puck. And the puck deflects in off of Stastny while Bouchard stands by himself on the boards, completely removed from any play at all, with nobody around him. I'm like, the hell is he doing over there? As I said, a comedy of errors. 1-0 for the Leafs. Oilers goal at 8:49, Wallman from Rosevich and Szymanski. The draw goes to Wallman, who unloads with a slapper, post, and in. 1-1. Leafs goal at 8:42. Ingram fails to clear. He goes behind the net and he shoots it around the boards, and he shoots it too high for Nurse to stop, even though Stoffers after the game was trying to say Nurse should have stopped it. No, it went past Nurse. And it went through the skates of the official, right to the stick of a Leaf player who goes straight at the net and scores. 2-1 for the Leafs. Okay, it's really opened up now. Another big hit by Nurse. If it wasn't for Darnell, Oilers would have no physical presence at all in this game. Benoit hits Hyman after the whistle, and guess who came to Hyman's defense? You guessed it, Darnell Nurse. Benoit has no interest in answering that bell. Another Leaf breakaway as Tavares gets behind Bouchard. Every game, every single bloody game, an opponent gets behind Bouchard. Tavares does miss the net, but it's every bloody game. And that was the end of the second. Shots on goal are 21-27 for the Oilers, but the score is 2-1 for the Leafs. So things definitely opened up that period. I'm surprised the score only 2-1. But we got one more period to go, and Oilers' best period this season has been the third period. So this game is totally still winnable. Personally, I hope Darnell can get a goal and an assist for the Gordie Howe hat trick, as he's been an absolute beast out there tonight. Period 3. Oilers goal at 15:33, Kapanen from Podkolzin and Emberson. Podkolzin grabs the puck behind the Leafs net, passes to Emberson, who passes back to Podkolzin, who finds the incoming Kapanen, who picks the top right corner. Scores 2-2. And I gotta point it out, shoot high, shoot high. Oilers penalty at 13:22, Savoy for interference. Now, after the game, Stauffer and even Rob Brown and the other Ched guy, who I always forget his name, were complaining that this was a weak call. This was not a weak call. It was clear-cut interference. It was not picking on the rookie player. And Savoy made a target of himself by throwing his hands up going, I'm not doing anything. Here's a learning lesson for any player out there. When you draw attention to yourself like that, you draw attention to yourself. And chances are you're going to get called. And that's what happened. He got called for the penalty. But that's okay. Oilers penalty at 13:16. Janmark for high sticking. Okay. The Leafs are getting a 5-on-3 for 1:54. This was an absolute BS call. Matthews clearly holds Janmark. Janmark does high stick him. He loses control of his stick and he high sticks Matthew. But Matthews absolutely grabbed hold of Janmark and held him. Even the Toronto announcers were saying this. And the officials, well, they gave Janmark a penalty, but they didn't give Matthews a penalty. They gave the Leafs a 5-on-3. Leafs goal, 12-18. You didn't see that coming. Typical 5-on-3 style goal. Score is 3-2. And I think this goal broke the camel's back for the Oilers, because Leafs goal at 11:47, another power play goal. Leafs player scores from Leon's normal spot on the power plays. Now the score is 4-2 for the Leafs. Ingram is pulled at 3:08 left in the period. Leafs goal at 2:38. Empty net goal from the Leafs zone to the middle of the empty net. Oh my God, Frederic finally shows some physicality at 1:04 left in the third period. Too little, too late, and gets a 10-minute misconduct for it. Where was this 3 periods ago, Frederic? It's a valid question. There was only 3 players that Nurse was a beast. Podkolzin, I saw deliver one nice check, and Kapanen, I saw deliver one nice check. And that was it for physicality from Oiler players. I'm not joking. End of the game. Shots on goal are 27-36 for the Oilers. Leafs win 5-2. So that was disappointing finish, thanks to the officials. That horrible non-call on Matthews, but giving Leafs a 5-on-3 instead, absolutely unacceptable for an NHL official. The proper call should have been 2 to Janmark for high sticking and 2 to Matthews for holding. They should have been coincidental minors. So it should have been a power play, but not a 5-on-3. It should have been a 5-on-4. But this always happens when the Leafs play anyone. If they are tied or down by 1 goal, they will always be gifted power plays. I actually made this exact point to my brother over a month ago regarding the Toronto Maple Leafs because it's been that obvious. But league bias aside, the Oilers did exactly what I said would happen. Other than Nurse, this team is soft, non-physical, only interested in playing non-contact shinny. For those of us that remember the 1980s, you saw more physicality from Gretzky than you see from this team. And make no mistake, Wayne Gretzky was not a physical player. But, he was, compared to this team, he was Dave Semenko. I find it funny how the Toronto announcers are trying to give the impression this was playoff hockey. Both teams would be out in 4 to 5 games if they played like this in the playoffs. This was not playoff hockey, not even remotely. I keep saying hockey is about more than just offense. But this Oiler team, built by Knobloch and Bowman, only want to play offense. Once again, we allowed a bad team to dictate how the game was played. Much as officials decided game gifting a 5-on-3. Truth is, this loss is on the Oilers and no one else. Leafs didn't beat the Oilers. Oilers beat the Oilers again. So 3 stars are really hard in this game, other than Nurse. So number 1, Nurse for being the only physical player and standing up for his teammates. And then I'm going to give the second one to Kapanen for a nice second goal and being involved at least. He threw 1 body check that I saw, but he was involved. And then the third star I'm going to give to Podkolzin for the assist on Kapanen's goal because it was a beautiful give and go between them. For the Slugs, well, no physicality other than Nurse, Kapanen, and Podkolzin. Knobloch putting Lazar in the press box again. And Bowman for horrible team design. Oilers are now 28, 21, and 8. Next game is Wednesday, February 4th, 2026 versus the Calgary Flames at 8 p.m. Mountain on Sportsnet. And that's my recap for tonight. If you like the video, leave a like, a subscribe, and a share. I'm trying to grow my channel, and a like, a subscribe, and a share does me wonders, and I do appreciate it. Takes 1 second to subscribe, costs you absolutely nothing, helps me immensely. Just hit the subscribe button on the bottom of the screen. Always feel free to leave a comment. I encourage you to leave a comment. Come on in. Let me know. What did you think? How ticked off are you? How disappointed are you? Do you blame the Oilers? Do you blame Knobloch? Do you blame Bowman? Do you blame the officials? Let me know. Also, leaving a comment really does help me with the YouTube algorithm and getting more eyes on my videos. And as always, pew 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 and shit. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.